I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. We are joined by Toreli Tigre. Hi.
Oh, hello.
Hey, thank you
Thank
so
you so
much for coming
much.
on. I really appreciate it. Please introduce yourself to everybody.
Hi, my name is Toreli, but you can call me Toreli or Tigre. Anything really. I don't mind. A lot of people call me Torelli. I think that one's really cute too. Or Tortellini. I know that one. I'm very popular for that one. At least with some friends, they call me Tortellini. I am a brand new VTuber. I debuted earlier this month. And I recently reached affiliate like 2 weeks ago, I think.
Dang.
Like a week, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, so I'm really excited. I am a brand new VTuber and I am new to the gaming world as well. This is my first PC ever, and I am on my journey to hopefully win all of your hearts, have lots of cringy moments, have lots of smiles, lots of laughter, and, get on to my journey with gaming.
Wow, that's cool. So this is you're jumping in completely new here. I mean, absolutely. You've never been in the pool at all before.
No, I didn't. So the thing is, firstly, with streaming, just in general, watching any streamers or anything, it
Yeah.
was very, very taboo in my family,
Ah.
especially any type of video games.
Ah.
So now that I'm grown up and have grown up money, I'm like, hey, I see people streaming all the time, having lots of fun, and why not try it out? There's nothing wrong with that. And if anything, the PC, it can be used for other things too, not necessarily just gaming. But,
Yeah.
in my case, it's just gaming.
Like this PC I'm using here is strictly for the interviews. I'm not putting any games on it.
Ah,
I'm not because
oh, okay. Do you have like a whole separate room?
I do, but it's kind of like the utility stuff, all the junk in room,
Mm.
and I'm part of the junk. So here we are.
Hey, we're on the same interview right now, so I'm there with you.
Yeah, yeah. This is I'm imperfectly set for this room. I've I've shoveled out a corner, and that's where we are at this
I
point.
know, I feel that too. I'm like in my room. It's kind of because I have a little mueblecito at the other side, like this little tiny cabinet,
Hmm.
and then my bed in the middle, and I'm just like right here in the corner.
Yeah, that's fine. I can see outside, and when it rains, I can watch it. If it snows, I can watch it. And the heater
That is
does
so
get here
pretty.
in the winter, so I'm good. Right now, we don't need the winter because we're in Illinois, and the weather is changing every 5 seconds here at this point. So,
Oh my goodness, I feel that from California.
uh,
Sometimes over here it's extremely hot, and then it's like really windy.
well,
And like, well, choose the one.
we had a situation last week where we started the day off in the 80s with severe storms, and overnight we got snow.
Oh, wow. Oh,
The,
that's insane.
the temperature,
Thankfully, ours hasn't been that bad. If
yeah,
anything, sometimes it gets cloudy in the morning, and then all of a sudden it's like, boom, sunshine. You're
yeah,
getting burnt today.
yeah. So we've got sunshine right now, but it's cold. Like,
That's
uh,
good. That's good. Thankfully, today the weather looks good. It's a little bit chilly, but nothing crazy. It's a nice breeze
yeah,
with a good amount of sunlight.
cool. Well, and do you are you an indoor person or do you get out a lot?
Okay, so forcefully, I have to go out, but I'm usually indoors. So the thing is, like, okay, the days that I go work out, I go, but it's like, okay, I have to go to work, and then from work, I sit right by the window. So I'm getting that vitamin D in me, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thankfully, it's all good. And then I like walking. Occasionally, I go on like late night walks instead, just because I don't want to get too burnt, especially
Right.
from work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's a little mix.
So
Thankfully, I'm both.
after all these years of working nights and overnights and being in a radio station all the time, vitamin D doesn't even try to absorb itself into me. If I took
I
a
feel
If I took a vitamin D
that.
pill, it would just shoot right back out. It's not coming in. It's not doing anything. The doctor says, "How can you have negative vitamin D?" I don't know. It just doesn't work. Um,
Uh-huh.
and I'm not absorbing any of it at this point. Um, so When you got started as a streamer, you were y- did you come in completely oblivious as to how to handle a microphone? Had you ever been on a stage before or anything like that?
Not necessarily with streaming. So prior to streaming, I had been in the VTuber community for a while now.
Hmm.
I liked looking around. I like looking at people, seeing their streams, seeing
Uh-huh.
their models, and I think that was a big step for me where I was like, "Oh, that looks fun." Like usually I didn't have a persona. I used to use my face a lot, which, usually isn't the smartest idea. Until one of my friends, they made me this little character icon, and out they're like, "Hey, I drew you." I was like, "Oh, that is me. That is so cool." And later on, I was like, "Well, I'm tired of, that being so close to me." That I was like, I want to try something else. And I think that was a bigger step to trying something more creative
Yeah.
because the thing is that I'm a very, very basic person.
Uh-huh.
So I was very comfortable just being myself there. And so then that's when I was like, you know what? I kind of want to step out of that little bubble that I have and touch up on different colors, um, different personas, etc. Just like a lot of VTubers, I was like, oh, I'm not just entrapped by myself. I don't just have to be only one person.
Yeah.
And that's how Torah came to be. And but yes, technology wise, yes, I came in blind. Streaming, yeah, I didn't know what OBS. Oh my goodness, let me tell you about this.
Uh,
Okay, so OBS, right?
right.
I didn't know that it had a website that I had to download it from. I downloaded it from Steam.
Oh, oops.
And when my friend was helping me set up a bunch of some of my stuff, shout out to Draken, by the way.
Yes.
They were they're like, Toralei, where's the file? I was like, what file? Because I was looking at YouTube tutorials. I didn't know. I couldn't find the file either. I was
Right.
hoping he would. And I was like, hey, Dragon, where's the file? And he's like, I don't know, Toralei. You told me you downloaded this. And he's like, where did you download OBS from? I was like, Steve. And he's like, you dumbass. You didn't go through the website. I was like, I didn't even know they had a website. And thankfully, it got it working.
I'm all set to
So
go,
I
except
think that explains everything.
that's
Oh, I'm
like
so
that,
sorry for kidding you.
that's like buying a car and not having a key.
Yeah.
It's like a beautiful car. I just can't drive it. Yeah.
Well, the issue was that to begin with, I wasn't really planning on being a VTuber.
Um. Well.
So that's why it was kind of like, oh, you're pushed right into this space, Torlai. Because originally I just wanted to stay on what's it called? Clipping for
Hmm.
VTubers and becoming an editor.
Right. Are you
And that
doing
was
that
my
now?
original plan.
Are
Oh
you?
yeah, I still do those.
Yeah. Yeah. So, do you have like commissions for that?
Yes, I do. I do have them open. Um, I enjoy watching different streamers, and so when I get to look through their information, I'm like, ooh, and I get to get introduced to a lot of different types of humor. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, this one's really smart, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing the variety that's out there.
It truly is. Especially when you meet people whose humor differs from you, and you're like, wow, you are really quick to think. Like I was watching this one edit, right? I was editing a small little clip, and they used the word wolfendom. I forgot
Wolfendom.
if it was a different. I don't remember what the context was for it,
Yeah.
but they're like wolfendom, more like wolf and dumb, because they're a were tiger,
Hmm.
not were tiger, sorry, were lion
Yeah.
VTuber. So I forgot the phrasing for it, but close enough. You
Yes.
get it.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, I didn't really think of that. For me, it's just so direct, and for them, it was something that they were able to turn into content.
Mhm. Yeah.
That was cool.
So you're really kind of finding yourself, aren't you?
Yeah, it's a lot of test and trial, trialing
Hmm.
everything. It's like, let's see what works. If it doesn't stick, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't really have a lot of high hopes for streaming. I'm not planning on it being my full time.
Right.
So that's why it's like I don't mind the failure and finding what works and what doesn't because I'm not looking at the numbers. I'm not looking at any of the statistics.
Yeah.
I'm just playing around to see what's really me. And if it's like, oh, I really sound really cringe in that moment, I'm like, hold on, I need to tweak this and then maybe add this one. Sounds funnier.
Go on live, edit later.
Yeah. I mean, either way, it's just gonna, I'm just there to be funny.
Yeah.
It's just silly. I
Yeah.
just want to play games.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a great outlook to have going in, and you never know. You might catch quickly. You might turn around and have like triple digits the chat. Um, I mean, you got the affiliate quickly, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I was very fortunate to get the affiliate quickly.
Yeah.
Um, I really wasn't expecting it.
Mm,
So when I started and debuted, I really didn't expect anything. I didn't really promote myself and everything.
hmm
So I was like, let's see how this goes, just we raw dogging this thing. And um thankfully I had several friends um slowly, hype me up and I'm like, okay, I got it, I got it. But I
hmm
mostly just wanted to see myself in my little model moving. I was like, yeah. I did make little slides. I was like, okay, I'm less nervous now since I feel a little bit more prepared.
Yeah.
Um, but affiliate, I was so fortunate with it. I started out with horror games, and the thing is, okay, who doesn't love a complete newbie who doesn't know anything about video games or technology? And then a scaredy cat on top of that, it's just a perfect mix for absolute chaos. And that's what happens. Like 30 minutes in, I was like, I don't know anything. They're like, your mic is muted. I'm like, I don't know what to do with my mic.
Yes. Yes. They could still
But yeah,
they could still hear you scream though.
they can see me scream. They can't hear it. But it was hilarious. It was fun. A lot of people were there for me, and a lot of them, thankfully, were a lot of my friends because they knew that I was terrified to even go on it. I was
Yeah.
like, let's just see, let's just get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
And I think that was the start, really. And a lot of people fortunately liked me.
Yeah.
Something stuck to them about me.
No.
And that's how I got it. Yeah. So right now I average a good amount of viewers, a small handful.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah,
Isn't that
because I,
cool?
I talk to them. I see them on Twitter all the time. And oh my gosh, I'm always commenting on stuff. I'm like, you guys are going to get sick and tired of looking at my comments.
Well, what's really cool about that is now you realize that there are people around the world, in little places
Mm.
around the world, that are enamored enough with you and your personality that they want to come back for more.
Yeah, that I'm very, very thankful. I cannot thank them enough. I originally starting out, I was really concerned because I hesitate a lot to just give out the quote and
Uh-huh.
finish the little joke.
Yeah.
I'm like, and they pause for like a split second, and I'm like, you know what? I'm so thankful you guys are here. And for me, I always mention this to my chat. Um, Spending quality time is such a big love language for me that so I am really, really blessed.
Mm,
I really, really am.
yeah.
I'm very fortunate that, they're willing to stick around, hear whatever comes out of my mouth.
Screams and otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a great way to build a good, solid group of people to base on. Um, these are your hardcore folks. These are folks who are going to stick with you for a good long time, and that they're coming back specifically for you and your talents and your personality. Um, when you look back at being a fan, realize that you're on the other side of it. How do you feel about that?
Well, it's not too different compared to how I saw it. I've always been a pretty decently logical person.
hmm
So, I did moderate for a few people before, and looking back at it, I was like, I feel like a lot of it is just common sense, where it's like, you would well, I was around here since 2020,
Hmm.
and you would constantly see those messages of like, "Oh, do a face reveal," and obviously people weren't really too comfortable doing faces reveals back then.
Right.
Um, and it was just something that was constantly being put out there, and I'm very glad that people aren't doing that to me, and it's not
Mm.
very common now. So
Yeah.
seeing the difference is remarkable, honestly,
Mm.
because it's like, okay, well, people don't really care anymore.
Yeah.
But also because, like I was saying, that a lot of it is just common sense, where it's like, well, a streamer, what does a streamer have to do? Put out content. What type of content?
Yeah.
All the reels, um, the TikToks, all of the voiceovers, all
Right.
of the clipping, et
Right.
cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. You have to be on the ball. You have to be on the ball as far as doing that at a somewhat regular schedule, so
Mm,
people will continue to tune in. It's a if and you put yourself in their shoes. If you had somebody that you enjoy, but you didn't know when they were coming on next, um, and you couldn't, set your timer to it, it's pretty tough to keep
yeah.
that fan base up when you do something like that. Um, and you'll it's these are things that you find out pretty quick, I imagine, once you get started. And did it? When did you find yourself comfortable with turning on the microphone? How long did it take?
See, okay, I feel like this is where I differ from a lot of people.
Hmm.
It's that I am a nervous chatter.
Ah,
So usually I always hear people saying like, "Oh yeah, chatting was one of the biggest issues for me." And I remember because I had several VTuber friends prior to my debut,
uh-huh.
I they would ask me tips because they're like, "Tor, like, you're very good at conversations and stuff." I was like, "Yeah, but that only works for me because I am a nervous chatter. So when I get anxious or nervous or scared, I talk a lot." Just to fill in those gaps and be like, hey, hopefully something will stick. And I think that's the best way to describe my content too, where it's like, things gonna stick eventually, right?
Yes. Well, that's like a superpower.
Oh, I wish. No, just yesterday, oh my goodness, I had a work event and my coworkers lost me for 30 minutes because they're like, where did Toralei go?
Yeah.
And they start looking for me, and I was wearing a top, and that's the only way they were able to find me. And they're like, "Oh my goodness, she's been gone for a good while, and she's just being a social butterfly." But I wasn't being a social butterfly. I was scared, and I didn't want to leave the other person hanging, so I just kept on talking and talking and talking.
You were cornered and fighting back with your the best weapon possible. if
Yeah,
if I keep talking, they'll leave me
thankfully,
alone.
yeah, yeah. That's another thing too. I do talk a lot when I'm alone. I refer to myself as in third person constantly.
Ah,
If I if I talk about a scenario, I'm like Toralei, Toralei, Toralei.
yes. Yeah, well, and some people talk like that. I mean,
Mm,
and see, when you get on the internet and you get on any type of transmission of your voice, whether it's that or radio or a YouTube or whatever, especially when you don't have a safety net and you can't edit as you're putting things out. You notice that I am not live. I am recorded because I'm old and I know better.
mhm,
um, but
e-
but you have you have to basically think about what you're saying a little bit more when you're live. If you're taped, you can always go back and or recorded, you can always go back and edit something. But um, if you're comfortable enough to let everything fly, and if you have that ability to keep chat going and keep your
mhm.
chatter up without losing the whole train in the process, that's you're pretty well set for this.
I hope so. Thankfully, I am pretty decent with conversations. I just kind of blab, and then I'm like, "Hey, do you guys relate to this?" And sometimes it's like really random stuff. Okay, my favorite topics to talk about though, and it really gets people talking about it because it's like it's kind of taboo, I guess you would say.
Hmm.
For sexual education. A lot of the times, I'm like, "Hey, like I don't know on this topic. Does anybody know?" And they're like, Toreli, that's so random. And yes, it is random, but it's educational,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you're not
and
gonna
somehow it just works.
if you don't ask, how are you going to find out? I mean, other than I mean, there's
Exactly.
there's you can just go out and try something and possibly you know really mess up, or
Mhm.
or you can
Yep,
learn about something first. It's I in a way that's getting more easier and harder to do at the same time.
it is. It really is.
And
But, sometimes just you gotta roll with some topics, hopefully.
yeah, yeah. But when you're talking about the education, the sex education part of it, really, and you got to have the right audience for it, and
Mm-hmm.
and you got to be with the right people because there's some people who are just going to grab it and take off in the wrong direction. Um,
Oh, yeah.
but you're with where depending on where you're streaming on, especially, you're kind of walking that tightrope. In
Oh, yeah.
you don't want to make it lewd to the point where someone's going to complain about it and you get dinged for it. But you also want to
Oh,
make
no,
it
yeah.
informative enough for people to actually learn from it. And that's if you're willing to walk that tightrope, good on you. It that really does take some skill. I think you have more skills than you give yourself credit for.
Oh, thank you. I
Yeah.
really appreciate hearing that. No, thankfully, it's nothing crazy. Like, I'm not going to be super explicit. It's just kind of walking that, like you said, like that little tiny fine line where it's like making it educational enough where it's like, hey, it's a simple question, but I'm not going to ask you really personal, deep questions that are gonna get me banned
Right,
and,
right,
call in for creeps, you
right,
know?
right, right. And it's educational. It's actually informational, which is too, and not explicit. As much as you can, not be explicit. I
Exactly.
mean,
Yeah, it's just kind of like an overall thing where it's like, hey, and then it's like momentarily, it's not something that we constantly linger on
right?
because I feel like, yeah, when it lingers, it gets a little bit awkward. But it's
Yeah.
just like momentarily, doot, and then it's like, okay, moving on, next topic.
Yes. I want to know about this, and then I don't want to hear at somebody's 15-year personal history with it. That's not what we're looking
Yeah.
for. It just
Yeah, that's also, you also have to make sure that, you need to make sure other people are comfortable too.
yeah.
Just because it's so different compared to talking one-on-one person. And that's the thing is that I'm a very, very one-on-one person
Hmm.
where I like getting to know the person a lot more and I get more comfortable and I'm like, hey, let's talk about this, this, this.
Yeah.
But when it's a wider audience, it's so difficult because it's like, okay, well, I kind of have to touch on this and then also be considerate to not linger so much to make others uncomfortable and make sure to keep everybody else in mind too.
Right. Right. You don't want to. While you want to do that, you don't want to put too much of a leash on yourself with this stuff, and because then you become gun shy, and you start overthinking what you're saying sometimes. Because I know I've done that on the radio before.
Ah,
Uh,
okay.
yeah, because if you still want to be you, and
Mhm.
if you're intentionally muting yourself, a few inches back from where you need to, you're shorting yourself the opportunity to be even more entertaining and maybe draw some people in. But again, it's your mileage may vary with all this stuff, and maybe it works for you that
Mhm.
way. But I'm glad that you're able to get that topic out there and talk to people about it because um, there are some people out there who you bring up that education topic and people will just go bananas. Oh, you got to talk about it. And then there's some people who say, yeah, I actually want to know about this, and I don't have anybody to ask. It does make a big difference. So thank you for that.
No, yeah. Oh my goodness. Sorry. I have seen a lot of that too, where it's like, oh, some people are like crossing that extra line.
Yeah.
So I appreciate the feedback on that because, I'll that's definitely something that I could definitely look into. Just make sure that it's not me fully feeling like I'm chained down.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You don't want
I
you.
like that, like limiting myself all the time.
Yeah,
So thank you so much for the feedback. But also, thankfully, I am pretty stern
yeah,
with my rules.
yeah,
Like, don't do that. Don't say that.
yeah,
Don't push that. You know, because I've
yeah,
had several people try that, and I'm like, wrong streamer, wrong streamer. That's not me.
yeah. Well, you're always going to have somebody testing the envelope, pushing on it, but you
Hmm.
just got to have a stronger envelope.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, definitely.
and as long as you're sticking to your guns and not letting one go through so everybody else wants to go through. I mean, you're doing right. And it sounds like to me already from what you're saying that you've really got a good perspective on it. So I think you know when it's getting out of hand and when to rein it in. I have full confidence in that, and that in
Yeah.
itself is a skill.
Yeah, thankfully I'm a pretty confident person,
Mhm.
thankfully.
Yeah,
Where that's why I feel like it wasn't too bad to start streaming either, where I was like, ooh, hesitant, hesitant. But I was like, no, I need to jump the gun because
yeah,
I know there's something there. You know?
yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes that's all you got to do. And I
So
think that was the greatest choice so far. I'm
so
having a lot of fun. So I think I'm doing great and I'm very, very proud.
you should be. You are doing great. You are doing great. Now, would you have considered yourself a very social person before you started in on the internet, or did the social skills come later?
No, I've always been very, very social.
Mm,
I thankfully, like I said, I talk because I get anxious.
yeah,
So that is thankfully a great thing for me. So when I get nervous, I just talk and talk and talk, and I'm like, hey, I like your shirt. I like your shoes. Where did you get them? Especially the work event yesterday. Like I said, I
yeah,
got to meet so many new people, and I didn't want to just hang around my coworkers. I was like, you know what? Let's try something. And then they made us do events, and I was like, ah, okay, do a little get to know each other. I was like, okay, well, and then thankfully I just talked and something stuck and they're like, oh, Torelai, I know I have this. Oh, Torelai, I have a cat. I'm like, oh my goodness, cats, my favorite topic. That's the best way to bond with me. And it just got the ball rolling. I was like, hey, well, I like your top, I like your shirts, like your shirt, your shoes, anything really that sticks. And they're like, oh, and people like compliments. So it's like it also works if you compliment somebody, they're going to be like, "Oh, okay, good," and it just kind of lowers your guard too, where you don't feel so uneasy because you see
right,
somebody else is not like tense.
right. There you go.
Like, does that make sense?
It does. It's practically what I do.
Okay, perfect.
I
Because
mean,
that's what I do. I'm like, okay,
yeah,
I'd rather compliment you, and then when you're like, oh, it's like a little happy tone. It's like, oh, now I feel more relaxed because I know that like, oh, okay, this is going great so far. But if it's
absolutely.
like different, it's like, oh,
And
the
it
tone.
that's called being disarming. And you when somebody comes in and where I work at, we get people coming in all the time, and usually they're not happy to be there. Um,
Mm.
but if what I'll try to do is I say that is the best hat I've ever seen. Where did you get that? Or I start talking a little bit, trying to trying to knock them off a little bit because they're coming in angry or irritated more than that. And
Mhm.
then the walls break down and you start communicating one on one.
Yeah.
And it sounds like that's a skill you've already see. Look at all the skills you've got here. You're like a Swiss Army knife for this stuff. All the skills you have. The
I wish.
but
No, I think that's what I'm saying that for me. I think that's one of the biggest strengths that I have,
yeah,
which is kind of strange and it kind of differs from a lot of VTubers that I know where they said that most of them are introverts. And I'm like, I'm scared, but I make myself uncomfortable just for the plot, I guess.
yeah, yeah. But you recognize that and you work your way through it. Um,
Yeah.
a lot of people will recognize it and hide behind it. That-
Mm.
That's different. That shows that you've got a little courage in there that you're going to do it anyway, or stubbornness, both.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I got the weird confidence where it's like you're scared, but you gotta do it. And
yeah,
then I just do it. And then like I said, I just talk till something sticks and then I'm like, okay,
yeah.
but that confidence is there,
But you also
even
have,
if I don't feel it.
you can't do that without having curiosity. And I think you're a very curious person.
Oh no, yeah, I am. I think that's another thing why I stuck to a feline theme
Mhm.
because curiosity killed the cat, but its satisfaction brought it back.
Yes.
I I am super curious. Um okay, this is what happens on Irium because prior to streaming on Twitch, I was streaming on Irium for
Hmm.
like a month.
Yeah.
Like 2 months. Thankfully to one of my friends, they are like, Torlai, you
Yeah.
need to get on it because that was the first time I got my PNG.
Right.
And they pushed me and they're like, do it. I was like, okay. I was just talking about it and I was just saying curious stuff. And then when somebody's like, oh, I relate to that. I was like, okay, well then tell me about it because I don't really know too much on that. I just know brief things. And
Yeah.
then we were just unrolling the ball like that.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. On Irium, you have to do that, and it's one on one with everybody on
Yeah.
Irium, and sounds like that's right up your alley.
It is. I thankfully I love Irium. I have a lot of fun there. I am very big on getting to know others. So
Yeah.
it's not necessarily that them getting to know me, but I really like knowing people. Because I'm like, well, what do you do? What do you like to do? What's your idea of fun?
Yeah.
What's your humor? That's
You,
why I prefer doing one-on-ones too, because I like getting to know people on a deeper level like that.
you are an interviewer, and you don't even know it.
I know I'm just blabbing.
No, it's everything you've talked about is all the skills you need to be a good interviewer.
Aw.
It's true.
Is that how you got into interviewing people?
I got into it because I just love it, and thankfully, I do okay enough to where people want to come back. I'm not
Oh,
gonna
that's great. That's
I'm not
great.
gonna blow my horn
Mhm.
too much, but at 800. This is number 826, so I'm doing something right. Uh,
Ooh, 826. Okay.
but but
Okay.
but really,
Very-
when you have that curiosity and you have the ability to talk to people and disarm them, and then go from there to talk about the real them, talk about their goals and ambitions and whys and wheres and what
Hmm.
they want to do. Um, it sounds like you've got that naturally, which is really cool.
Yeah, I've always had it. I'm not sure how or why. I just do.
Yeah,
Thankfully, I've always been somebody very outgoing, even when I feel like a lot of it I'm not, or like I'm scared. It's like I just gotta do it. I gotta do it. It's just an instinct of mine,
yeah.
even if I don't have the personality for it. It's just
Eh,
do
now,
it.
don't sell yourself out short on that because that's part of your personality, and having that curiosity is going to take you a long way, especially with Arium because that is um, not to throw shade on any of my good friends at Arium, but some folks are better at it than others, and you can tell when
Mm,
they're comfortable with asking those questions and getting to know people and being able to do that almost immediately makes your listener more comfortable, um,
oh
because
yes.
yeah
Hmm.
you're asking the questions to other people that the listeners will want to ask, and that makes a big difference. And once you bring them in, once you kind of let them sit at the table, you just have to get more chairs because no people are going to come want to sit at the table.
Hmm.
And that is don't let anybody tell you different or say, man, you shouldn't ask too many questions. No, no, you're doing great things with it. Um,
Listen, I never get offended if people tell me that I ask too many questions. That's how you have a conversation.
that
If
is,
anything, I feel like a lot of people do the opposite. They don't ask enough questions,
yeah,
and then it leaves them high and dry, and they're like, "Oh, well, why can't I get that opportunity?" You
yeah,
know?
absolutely. you know, I don't know if I've told this or not, but when I was a kid, I didn't ask any questions in school until high school.
Oh, wow.
And I realized that I wasn't going to be in the top 25% of my class, even though
Mhm.
I, did well on those silly, aptitude tests and things. Um, I was always going to disappoint myself and everybody else if I didn't start asking questions. So
Mm.
I did, got my grade point average way up, made the 25%, haven't stopped asking questions since because
Please don't.
I realized how curious I really was to find the answer and
Mhm.
and and learn about these things. And you talked about, breaking that wall down so quickly. That's part of it. Um,
Yeah.
so you the bomb. You
Thank
got
you. I really appreciate that.
yeah,
No, I was the opposite. My mom, she told me I would never shut up. The entire time. She told me that when I was younger, I would always be like, ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué?
¿Por
Just
qué?
asking why. She'd be like, well, this doesn't work like that. Why? And I think that was like another thing too for what constitutes my personality a lot, where it's like not only curiosity,
Mhm.
but just learning in general, where I'm like, well, but why do I need to listen to this person? Like, are they actually right? You
Yeah,
know, it
yeah.
kind of helps with like critical thinking skills.
Do you?
And I think that that helps out a
Oh yeah.
lot.
Well, you got to have that along with it. Do you find yourself sometimes on YouTube just randomly getting stuff and falling down holes?
Okay, you just opened up a rabbit hole. Oh goodness. Yes,
Yeah.
all the time.
Join us.
Crime documentaries, the
Yes.
Mandela's effects,
Yes.
everything. Oh goodness. I watch so many things, like especially the iceberg videos.
Yeah.
Oh, I love those.
Yeah. Yeah. But there's a couple of channels I watch. There's one called Dark Docs, which is a
Oh.
documentary channel of all sorts of things. And I was like, I'll sit there and watch it the whole time. Or History Matters, which is a
Mhm.
tremendous site that animates small bits of history in 3 to 10 minute segments. And I
Oh.
just I'll watch everything they do and get that sort of thing. That that shows that curiosity where you find something. Oh, I want to know about this. Turn it on. But
Yeah, definitely.
yeah,
Um, I think that also worked out for me because when I was in university, I did sociology for a bit. I took a
uh,
sociology class,
yeah,
and it really hit a lot of the, well, why do people do this? You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
especially and psychology. Oh my goodness.
Mm,
So I was like, oh, well, why does this work? And then I'll sit in it's like, oh, so that's the case. Oh, well,
yeah,
that works out. Oh, that explains that,
yeah. I
why it affects this.
I I took about half a semester of sociology,
Oh, what was your experience with that?
and it was good, but the teacher was not the most moral person. I'll put it that way.
Mhm.
And when I found myself agreeing with them too much, like, I think I leave. I had a B and
Ah.
everything in that class. No, I'll find another electorate.
Oh, I get that.
Yeah.
No, yeah, sociology was definitely something interesting. I learned about so many things. I was like, oh, like society goes further than just this overlay of blank,
Yeah.
this blanket, and then on top of this blanket, like you need to look under the covers to find
Yeah.
everything else that makes up that blanket.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so many things that go into something like that, and to have that, you can't move forward without some curiosity.
Mhm.
You you have to find something that interests you, and it sounds like that's not a problem for you. You'll find something.
Yeah, thankfully I have a large variety of tastes, so it's like, especially with people, I don't really consider myself to be a very social person, especially texting. Oh my goodness, I am horrible at texting because I feel like my social battery drains out so quickly
Yeah.
in text messages
Yeah.
compared to being face to face with somebody. I love seeing face to face.
Yeah.
Um, And I think that's I love talking to people when I am talking to them like in real life or
Yeah.
anything or meeting up with friends.
Yeah.
I get to see all of, what makes them them. And then beyond just the texting, because it's like, oh, well, your clothing. Oh, the shoes you decided to wear with this outfit,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
like the jewelry, like especially the wrinkles. Oh my goodness, I love seeing people with wrinkles.
Ah,
Um,
you made a
it
lot of
really
old
shows.
people really happy with that.
I hope so, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love seeing people and all of their little wrinkles. Like if you see their forehead wrinkles, I'm like, oh, like what facial expressions do you make to make that face often? Because
Yeah.
this was something for me that my sister pointed out that when I enjoy my food, I get mad. I make a mad face. So I furrow my eyebrows and I get the little mark between my eyebrows.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I was looking in the mirror and I'm like, am I really an angry person all the time? And then my sister showed me a picture she took and she's like, no, look at here. And she shows me and I'm eating some ramen
Uh-huh.
and my eyebrows are furrowed. And she's like, were you mad at the food? I was like, no, that was delicious. That
Yeah.
was the best food I've ever eaten.
You're just concentrating. That's what that is. You're concentrating on the food.
Hmm.
When my wife Misty says, if I'm at a restaurant or she's fixed something that I haven't had in a long time and I'm enjoying it, I will actually hop in my seat, like hop, hop, hop,
Cute.
happy food hop.
Yeah, I've seen people do little wiggles, and I thought that was cute too. I've seen a few friends when I go hang out, they have different personalities, and I'm
Yeah,
like, well, what do you like to do? And then, like, because they won't recognize it, it's so part of their habit that they'll like lean, or sometimes they'll sit crisscross applesauce at the table
yeah, yeah,
because they don't like touching the ground for some reason. And
yeah.
I'm like, oh, interesting. We all have different habits that it makes us us. That's why it's like, for me, socially, I am in person, not via text messages.
Yes, yes. Yeah, and you'd be one of those folks that you'd want to take out to dinner because you'd be pointing out everything.
Oh my goodness, yeah. I do that all the time. I was like, oh, especially my dad. Oh my goodness, my dad. So he has a habit of tapping his fingers
Hmm.
all the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, I would just stare at him and I would be like, Dad, did you know that you tap your fingers? And he's like, what do you mean? And I was like, every time that you think, you tap your fingers.
Yeah.
And he's like, how do you know? I was like, wait, because, when you stop and think for like a second, like you tap your fingers 3 times and then you say an answer.
Now
And
he's
I thought it was amazing. He's like, "Oh, you're weird for checking." I was like, "I don't know. It's just an observation. You do it."
yeah. Now he's thinking every time. No, just 2 taps this time.
Yeah. I mean, I know some people find that definitely creepy because they're like, "Why are you just watching? Like, just observing?" And it's like, well, like, I like you. I want to get to know you. And, the best way to love somebody is to get to know them
Right.
on different levels.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And sometimes people don't even know that they do these things. Uh,
Mm.
it's it's uh it's something I didn't realize I was doing a happy hop every time I got good pancakes or something. Like, oh,
Oh.
good pancakes, boing boing boing. I didn't realize it, and you know what? I don't care. I'm going to keep doing it.
Oh, it's adorable. No, that's good
Yeah.
because then, when you're talking to like a partner or like people who really love you a lot, like loved ones,
Hmm.
they catch on to that and it becomes a part of something that makes them happy too.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that's beautiful. And for me, that's why I like paying attention to people when they're like, oh, yeah, I like to do this. Or if they shake their leg, I'm like, oh, like that's something that will stick with me forever about you. It's a little quirk, and I'm like, I think that's beautiful about
Yeah.
you.
Well, it's,
Because a lot of people don't, like you said, they don't recognize it.
yeah.
So when they do it, I'm like, that's beautiful because
Yeah.
that's so you.
Yeah. And I mean, there's something you learn about it too. I mean, if you see somebody do something and you think it's for one reason and it's for another reason,
Mm,
like when and I'll give everybody a little TMI here. When something extraordinarily bad happens to me, and it does happen on occasion, I will do this. Just kind of shrug a big breath.
Hmm.
And Misty, for the longest time, thought that was me giving up. But it wasn't.
Oh.
It's me
Mm-hmm.
erasing and saying, okay, we start here.
Mm-hmm.
This is, what do I need to do? Let's start it here. It's not a giving up. It's a jumping in point. So you got to sometimes you got to explain it. But I can see where people would say,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, he's giving up." No, I'm not giving up. I'm starting now. And it's like reset. Let's go.
No,
Let's.
yeah, I've seen several people do that, but in their case, it was more of like the brain needed to get more oxygen
Yeah.
type situation where it's like, okay, hold on. And it's like reset, kind of like, okay, it's gonna sound silly, but it's like rewire your brain.
Hmm.
It's like rewire it, go
Yep.
back.
Yep.
And it's like get more air into the brain and then,
Yep.
ooh.
Yep.
For me, I think for me, my habit would be that when I'm stressed, I shiver a
Mm.
lot. So I'll get chills.
Oh.
And yeah, like when I finally let go of the stress, like I'll get a little tiny shiver and they'll be like, "Well, it's really, really hot." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know it's not like cold related or heat.
Yeah.
It's just me letting out some stress and being like, okay,
Yeah. And people,
restart Toralei."
yeah. People look at you. Okay, she's being stressed. We'll settle down around her now a little bit. Yeah. Well,
No, that's mostly at home. Thankfully, I feel like I keep that there. And when I work, I'm in a little tiny cubicle area, so it's like nobody else sees me, and so I can just shiver and be like, okay, get back to it.
yeah, yeah. It's a reset button. It's a reset button.
Hmm.
Clear the screen, clear the cache, and go. There's a lot of people. You know, I can see why people enjoy being on your streams.
Ah, you flatter me.
No, really. I mean, here we talked about that for 10 minutes, and people are like, what are they talking about? This is this is how we do things here. We
Mm-mm.
talk about whatever comes up, and we go from topic to topic because that's how you get to know people, in my idea. And we've gotten to know Torlai really well, more than enough to keep tuning in on Irium and bothering you there, and and tune in. We're gonna have all the links in the description for this video, and you got to check out what Torlai's got going on. There aren't that many tigers on VTubers. I don't see too many tigers. Um,
What? Really? Okay.
yeah.
Uh, so a comment that I want to make about that. So, okay, I'm gonna be so honest. I remember somebody ended up making a comment that like, why did you choose it like a tiger? That is the safe option,
Uh, yeah.
Which I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't care. I chose the tiger because I like tigers. And there's this other character that looks like a tiger, and I was like, oh, that is so cute. Me next.
Yes.
And the thing is that I feel like I said, I think it really explains my personality, where it's like, if you think it's generic, okay, sure, good for you. But, I describe my personality as pretty decently basic, where it's like, I'll touch on a lot of things, but not fully know a lot of things, where it's like, that's why I am very curious about others and topics.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like it suits me.
It.
If you think it's basic, it still suits me because I am very simple. I'm very direct.
Yeah. I
Um,
think you're a lot. I think you're a lot deeper than you say you are. And I think
I
I think
I
you.
think so too, but I personally the way that I see myself, it's like I see myself as very simple, and my character design doesn't have a lot of anything that really sticks out. That it's like it's me, because
Yeah.
everything is simple until you get to know my personality. I
Yeah.
think that's where it is mostly.
Well, folks, you got to get to know Toralei, and we're going to have those links in the description. I
Yeah.
hope that we can talk again very soon because it's good to hear somebody who's got that curiosity and wants to know more about people. I hope you keep shining because we need more folks like you out there.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. But yes, simple does not mean bad. It's good. It's you. That's what I'm like trying to get the point across. It's fine to be simple. You don't have to have anything too complex because either way, the visuals come first, but the personality is what keeps people around.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.